Okay, before we get into this review / rant on this thing, I want to real quick explain why I'm reviewing this movie. Okay, I made a bet with 22 Tiger Dude. If you guys don't know who 22 Tiger Dude is, please go subscribe to him. And it was okay, so I betted that he would give Spectre, you know, the new James Bond movie, would be his first 2015 movie to get a 4 out of 4 stars from him. So if Spectre was not his first 4 out of 4 star movie for 2015, I'd have to watch and review this thing. And obviously I lost the bet. And now I have to do this. Kids, this is why you don't make bets. Let's get into the review / rant. Hey, what's up, you guys? WWE fan 0599 here again, and today we're going to review Battlefield Earth. So Battlefield Earth stars John Travolta, Forrest Whitaker, and Barry Pepper, and what this film is about. Where it's like 1,000 years, Earth is like almost destroyed, or you know, it's wasted and everything until these aliens like capture Barry Pepper, and you know, they want to make him into like a super. It seems like they want to make him to a weapon or something, and you know, they want to try and escape. Blah 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 blah. So what did I think of Battlefield Earth? This movie is one steaming hot pile of garbage. Oh my goodness. I was in complete shock after this movie. This movie is one of the worst movies I have ever seen. This movie is so bad. Bad is an understatement. No, this is horrendously awful garbage. This movie. Oh my goodness. Let's get into the positives. Do you seriously think there's any positives with this film from the way I'm reacting? No. No! There are no positives with this film. Let's jump straight to the negatives. Because I have a lot of negatives with this movie. The acting is just horrendously bad. It is just some of the worst acting you will ever see in your entire life. It is that bad. It is garbage. Garbage upon garbage upon garbage. Okay? First, John Travolta. John Travolta, what were you thinking? I get it. This was a passion project of yours. You really wanted to do this film, you know. You even put some of your own money into investing this film. I can't even give you respect for that. This is how bad this movie is. You are horrible in this movie. You're one of the worst villains I've ever seen in my entire life. He is horrible in this movie. All he does is this. Ha 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 ha. All he does is stinking laugh in this entire movie. His dialogue is so bad. So bad to the point where you want to rip your ears out. It's that bad. His dialogue. Forrest Whitaker. Forrest Whitaker, what were you thinking? What made you want to do this movie? You should have looked at the script and looked at everything else, and you should have been like, nope, I'm not doing this. I'm better than this. Because you are better than this. What were you thinking? You're so bad in this movie. You're really bad. Almost to the point where it's hilarious. That's how bad you are in this movie. Not John Travolta. John Travolta's just bad in this movie. And Barry Pepper, oh my goodness, Barry Pepper is so dull. He is so wooden. And we're supposed to root for this guy because he's the main hero. And he is just so dull and so boring to watch on screen. Because you just don't care for this character. And, you know, he just doesn't make himself likable. He's probably one of the worst villains I've ever... Not one of the worst villains, I meant to say one of the worst heroes I've ever seen in my life. Because you're just not motivated to like this guy. Because he has no personality. Has a bland personality. He's just horrible in this movie. Barry Pepper. Probably he's done nothing after this. You know? So yeah. The rest of the acting is just bad. It is awful. Just horrendously awful. Oh my goodness. The action. This movie tries so hard to be a Star Wars and Matrix knockoff that it is baffling. You know? And just, the action is so bad. I mean, there's a fight scene towards the end with John Travolta and Barry Pepper. Oh my goodness, it's so bad. It's like a bunch of close-up, quick cuts. It just looks bad. This is what it is. That's what it is. That's how bad it is. Like this. Just a bunch of bad close-ups. It's just... bunch of slow-mo. Oh, this... when it came to the action, oh man, it was a painful rip-off of The Matrix. It really is when it came to the action. It was so bad. Oh, the writing. The writing. What writing? There's no script. There was no script to this movie. Everybody's writing felt like it was written on a napkin. I'm not kidding. The writing is horrible with this movie. The writing is so atrociously awful with this movie. It's some of the worst writing I've ever seen in the film. The directing in this movie. Don't even get me started on the directing with this movie. It is directed by Roger Christian. I believe that's what his name was. All he does is a bunch of Dutch angles. This entire movie, most of this entire movie is Dutch angles. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's when you go like this, and you have to like turn your head like this. You know, that's what Dutch angled is. And it's just so bad. I could have filmed this entire video on a Dutch angle, just like the movie, but I feel like I would hurt everybody's head, so it's just, this movie, it uses so much Dutch angles to the point where my head was hurting. I can't stand Dutch angles. I don't like Dutch angles. Even in a good movie when they use Dutch angles, it's still not good. I don't like Dutch angles. And this movie has it all. Has it all. If you thought Thor was bad with Dutch angles, if you thought Outcast was bad with Dutch angles, oh, you haven't seen anything up until you watch Battlefield Earth. Because the Dutch angles in this movie are horrible. Oh man, the dialogue between each and every character is terrible. It's so painfully awful to watch on screen. And you feel like your soul is dying every time you hear someone talk. I'm not kidding. It is that bad. The pacing is horrible. The pacing, oh my goodness. I fell asleep not once, not twice, but 3 times during this movie. They didn't even last that long. They lasted about a minute. Just because the movie is so boring. This is one of the most, I think this might be the most boring film I've ever seen in my life. Sure, 3 other movies are worse than this movie in my opinion, but this might be the most boring one. This is so boring. It's an hour and 59 minutes, and it is painfully boring. I'm just sitting there like, I'm just like that. You know? Because the movie is that bad. The visuals. Oh my goodness. The visuals look so bad. They look so much like garbage. What was the budget? A ham sandwich? John Travolta, what did you do with all your money? The visuals are horrendously bad with this movie. Everything about this movie is horrendously bad. This is one of the worst movies I have ever seen in my life. Battlefield Earth is complete and utter garbage. Battlefield Earth gets an F. An F, 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 F. This movie is horrible. This is now the third worst movie I have ever seen in my life. The only three movies, the reason I'm saying three, I'll get into that, are worse than this. Jack and Jill's worse than this. Batman and Robin's worse than this, and Human Centipede 3 is worse than this. That's the only movies that are worse than this. But besides that, Battlefield Earth is worse than the rest of them. This movie is so bad. Never see this movie. Please, never make bets, first of all. That's the one thing you can get out from this review. And two, never see this movie. Because this movie is horrible. Horrible's not even the word for it. It's a complete and utter garbage. Battlefield Earth definitely deserves an F. If you've seen this movie somehow, what did you think of it? Leave in the comment section below. Oh man, and I'm WWE fan 0599. And we will see you all later. Peace. This movie's broken me.